Afternoon, how are we doing? Sorry, I'm late. Doing stuff. How are we all doing? Afternoon, JC, Crum, Baggy, Monkey, Gregors, Hamza, David, Amy, how are you doing? Ian, Peter, Tom? Everybody's back. It's always good. Why is it showing 0? Weird. Showing there's nobody in the stream. Sorry, let me just quickly check YouTube. Make sure I'm not going mad. Yep, I'm definitely here. There's definitely people watching, but it definitely says 0 down there. Oh, 36 now. There we go. Come to life. How we doing? Right. News-wise, there's no news this afternoon. We've got a free day for news, which is always good. Basically, the only news we've had this morning is the German IFO, which kind of didn't do a lot. It was a positive number, but didn't do a lot to the euro. We got Lagarde, which was speaking at 2 o'clock. There was nothing much said. So Lagarde's speech is all here, but there's nothing read. There's nothing important. ECB made further progress on inflation, etc., etc. So nothing exciting really to report there. We've had some news from the Fed. Feels like rates have to stay higher for longer than the markets had expected, which is bullish US. We'd already had a bit of a drop in the Swiss franc and a little bit of a rally in the US and the CAD today. So that has bolstered that a little bit more. We'll have a look at the ADRs in a minute. But apart from that, there's no other news this morning. So news-wise this week, very flat week for news. Tuesday, we got CB consumer confidence. We got the CPI for the Aussie and the CPI for the Eurozone, which is on Wednesday and Thursday, which are the main things this week. Unemployment for the US. And then we got GDP and Michigan. So pretty crap week for news. But it's the last week of the quarter and it's the last week of the month. So there will be movement typically this week. DAX this morning, usual. I was talking about in a lot of detail this morning about how crap this market is at the moment and how whipsawy it is. So this morning, DAX got whipped out. Where's my pen? There it is. So it's the invisible pen. Basically, you launch it and it appears on a monitor somewhere at random. I have to find it every time I launch it. So banked $800 on the DAX this morning. So there's your pre-market 15 stroke whatever range you took. Broke to the downside. If you took the pre-market 15, you kind of got 1.5 ARB to the downside. So you would have had a nice little profit on that. If you've taken the 5-minute ORB to the upside, that was about just one and a bit ADR. Reward to the upside. So there were trades available today. The pre-market was good. The 5-minute ORB today was all right, but not great. I got hedged. So I went short, didn't manage to get down to target, pushed up, didn't manage to get anywhere up, came down, exited. I think I did that on stream, didn't I? Yeah. So I exited on stream and then got into another long as we hit ADR. Posted this in the Telegram group as well. Pushed up, exited the hedge. $800, although I've shut this terminal and restarted it, so it's not showing the profit, but it's down there. So the other indices, we've had a move down this morning. This move came with the DAX, basically. All the indices sold off at the same time. No real reason for it. There wasn't a news event that did this. It just basically sold off for a bit. But DAX, as you can see, has pushed quite hard beyond ADR today. So that's ADR. We came into ADR, sat around for a bit, and it's really dropping. So I suspect just the fact that the DAX has kind of done 125 ADR or so today. If we have a look at the DAX over here. Yeah, we're 125, approaching 150 ADR on the DAX. Yeah, so we're on our way to 150. I suspect the indices might open pretty bearish today. So pre-market ranges, breaks to the downside might be quite quick. But what might also happen is they may open very bullish and drag the DAX back up. So we'll see. But yeah, big sell-off on the DAX today. Very big sell-off. If you look at the DAX now, long term, we've broken that low, which is what I said about this morning. If we break that low, there's nothing to stop it until we get down to this area here. Draw it on so that we can see it. So there's that high there. You can't really see. There's this kind of area here. So it's that low, which we tapped into. We slammed through it, came back up into that zone. We came up, hit it again, came up, accumulated around it, dropped, hit it again. Couldn't get through it. We hit it again there. Then we finally broke through it. So it's this high down to these lows here. This whole zone here potentially is some kind of supportive area. Because it's where we've reacted multiple times in the past. And as you can see, that is what we're approaching now on the DAX. So this is where I said today, if we break that low, that monthly level, that monthly double bottom, there's nothing to stop us until we get down to here. So 150 to 175 ADR is the first reaction point. So there is still downside momentum on the DAX. Market's just opened while I've been waffling. So your opening range, pre-market opening range on the Dow, broken long. So it's your pre-market 15. It's tried to go long. NASDAQ has tried to break long, as has the S&P. So all three indices tried to break long at the open. See if we get any movement off them. Okay, pulling back and rejecting. DAX is still dropping. Why is there a stop loss there? Invalid stop loss or TP again. Keep getting this. It's intermittent. It's the first time it's happened on that. So for some reason, I've just got the one long on the NASDAQ. Very odd. Don't know why that happens. I need to have a look at the way that the orders are placed on that. But yeah, we'll see how these play out. Let's just catch up on chat. Afternoon. Who haven't said hello afternoon to? Can't remember where I got to. AZ, John, Andrew, Fletch, Emperor. I think that's where I got to. I've been watching every live stream for the past 2 weeks while hedging indices and position trading at the same time. I'm addicted. That's good. I'm like a drug. Do you know what I've got addicted to? Mini Tic Tacs. You can't even see them. Look, they're that small. I need to turn the light off. Look, how cute are they? Miniature Tic Tacs. It's like I'm a giant. Anyway. Please put the biggest weight you have on the CAD Swiss. Yes, that does need a big weight. Let's just see what happens with the indices. We'll have a look at FX in a minute. I've got out of a load of pound US dollar today. Just taken a 4.5% loss on it. Can't stay in that. It's too much. Just seeing if we're going to break to the downside. Just got the one long on that. Should really have a short on it as well. Should be hedged on the NASDAQ. But the EA screwed up. I need to look at how that executes. There's something really weird going on, and I don't know what it is on that one. But anyway. So the 5-minute opening ranges are just about to close in 30 seconds. We've had a small push to the upside and just a pull back into range, but no direction yet. This is happening all the time. This is constant. This whipsawing at the open. It's absolutely relentless at the moment. I was just looking at something else in FX a minute ago, and I was looking at the chart, and it was something I was in. I was trying to adjust targets on it, and I was looking at it thinking, this thing hasn't moved. It's just bizarre. Just looking at some of the market movement at the moment, it's just so unbelievably sideways. So there's a pretty big opening range on the NASDAQ there, 5 minute. Basically, it's taken out the highs and the lows, but no direction on it. So what I'm going to do, just to even this trade up, I'm going to have to do it manually, is I'm going to take manual short underneath that low and take that as a hedge if we break to the downside, just to make sure that I can manage the trade. A lot of volatility, there's a lot of flickering around, a lot of movement, but no direction. Again, at the moment, the 5 minute opening ranges are the ones you want to be on. But, that obviously is not always the case. Okay, so long on the Dow. See if we can break these highs. So just have a quick look at the indices and where we're potentially going today. So the DAX, obviously, as I've highlighted, we've got 3 main areas to the downside. 150, 175 ADR is basically where we may well find some support. That 225 is kind of the last chance saloon of that support. If that breaks, obviously we're off, but unlikely we're going to do 225 today. We don't, very rare to get 200% ADR moves on indices. The Dow, we are down and broken out those lows, that low from last month, which we did on Friday. So that's obviously dropping. There's not really anywhere to go. Look at this wick. Sellers certainly stepping on board. So looks like we got way more selling pressure today than we have buying pressure. It looks short. Good old hedges across the board again. So that double bottom, which is 150 ADR, is your downside target today on the Dow. Upside, we would just be looking at Friday's high, which is ADR to the upside. So looking pre-market as well. I've watched that pre-market high, but that upside high is ADR. For the S&P, same ADR basically, which is pre-market high and previous day's high is 125 ADR. So a little bit more movement to the upside there. Downside on the S&P, same thing. We've broken that low of the monthly. Where we are pretty much now, kind of ADR, and then down to that level there. So there's that low. So we formed a range there. So that high and that low potentially, and then that high. So we're probably looking in the region of basically exactly where we are now. So there's your supports to the downside. So right now where we are on the S&P, limit orders you can see triggering off of that low. Yeah, so limits are triggering off that support. NASDAQ, we haven't hit the support yet, but that's 100 ADR to the downside. Upside, we'll be looking at yesterday's high. So plenty of room. A lot more upside than downside. And it looks like the Dow's decided to go short. So hedged on the Dow. Not really making any progress on the other two at the moment. Looks like terminal's frozen up as well. No, I think the market might just have literally stopped moving. Yeah, market just went. I don't know, there might have been terminal freeze, but we'll see. Afternoon, day trader. Afternoon, Brian, Kenley. Right, so CAD Swiss. Yes, so putting a weight on the CAD Swiss. Let me just leave the Dow there for a minute. We are starting to fight. I've just taken another position on CAD Swiss this morning. So average is at ADR. Euro New Zealand who just hit ADR. I think that was the one I was looking at. Yeah, so Euro New Zealand's just hit ADR to the downside. I've got one position on that one. So that's another ADR reversal potentially. So yeah, this CAD Swiss. So this morning we had that negative news from the euro. Well, it wasn't really negative news. It was just kind of news, wasn't it? So we had the German IFO expectations coming out, which was a positive, but not specifically positive. But just before that, Villeroy came out literally 1 minute before, not by coincidence. We should come out of inflation and come back towards 2% target by 2025 while avoiding a recession. There was something else said this morning as well. Kazakh said September's hike may allow an October pause. May allow. So I was hoping that we would get some confirmation from Lagarde this morning, but we absolutely got nothing as usual. So we had that little bit of movement on the Swiss franc where everything started to push up. Swiss franc started to weaken. And then the US dollar started to have a little bit of a rally. So US dollar Swiss is the perfect storm today. Weak Swiss franc, strong US dollar. As you can see, we're up at 150 ADR. So the CAD has gone with the US dollar, but there's a lot more weight coming down on this Canadian dollar if you look. So Canadian dollar actually isn't strong. It's looking deceptively strong at the moment because obviously the weakness in the Swiss franc. But so the Canadian dollar, if you look at the pound CAD, that's rallying. If you look at the Euro CAD, that will also be pushing up. Yeah, so we're putting in some strength against the Canadian dollar. Let's have a quick look at oil. I'd imagine that is dropping. Pulling back a bit, not really dropping, is it? So little bit of weakness in that CAD this morning. So CAD Swiss, as you can see, it is pushing up. But we've got lovely wicks forming to the upside. So we had a little bit of a rally. We've pushed up. So we've got a nice big wick there, nice big wick there. We're putting a nice big wick there. We've got 20 minutes till this candle closes, but that's looking like we're exhausted for the day. So we're up at ADR. Drop down M5. Your reversal is just about to trigger on that there. So potential short opportunity. There was a short opportunity there, which is what I took this morning. Which was basically just off of ADR. So good chance this might start to drop today. Don't know, we will see. But yeah, certainly needs a weight on top of it, doesn't it? Parabolic. You want the definition of parabolic? There it is. So big parabolic move on that. We should get some kind of pullback on it at some point. But like I said this morning, we're waiting for everybody to stop selling. As long as there's people up here that want to sell, the banks will keep buying your orders. Yep. So just stop it and then it will stop. Mr. Barclays, HSBC, etc., etc. We've got good resistance coming up here. So that is your previous high from, where's that, from June. But we've got this whole accumulation area here where we will probably find sellers start to kick in at some point. But we were looking at this area and this area as being potential resistances. And what we got was a pop and a pop. Yeah. So if you look at those two areas there, that's that pullback and that pullback. So we will probably find a pullback there and we would definitely find a pullback there. It's whether or not we can actually start a move. All we've managed to do is start a pullback. There have been more buyers on board. So just waiting on it really. As you can see, it's massively extended. 4 hour. You know, we're up there, extended, embedded, not able to get out at all since we got extended up here. Look. So 2 weeks solid, not able to move. Big, strong move. But not a lot we can do with that one at the minute. Let's just quickly go back to the indices and see what they're up to. Dow, total whipsaw. NASDAQ and the S&P have broken to the high side. Might get a move on these. We'll see. DAX also going along with them. So it does look like they're buying up at the moment. But if I get out of this Dow short, it will go down. So I'm going to leave that on. Please put the biggest weight you've done that afternoon. Catching up on everybody's chat. What's the program for the pen? I'd like to draw weights and rockets on my charts. This is called Epic Pen. Oh, there you go. Epic Pen. Just basically means you can just draw anywhere on your screen. You literally anywhere you like. I can draw on all my monitors anywhere I like. This is me drawing all over the place. Good fun. But yeah, that's it. So if you need the market to move, just draw a weight on top of it or a rocket underneath it, and you'll be guaranteed to get the market moving in your direction. Thanks for the subscription, Ricardo. Welcome aboard. Hopefully you're not a bot. I'm only saying that because we've had Helpy FX keep subscribing and then going, hi, I found out about Helpy FX last week. All I can say is, thank God for Helpy FX. I followed their tips and have made an absolute fortune. Thank you again, Helpy FX. And then we ban them and report them. So we'll find out, Ricardo, are you real or are you a bot? This is where Ricardo doesn't type anything and makes me think he's a bot. Can you program the ADR indicator for TradingView? No. I don't use it. Can we have a look at Euro odd? Yes. I get asked this a lot. Can you make this for that? Why doesn't this appear on that? Why can't I bought this version. I want to switch over to this platform. Please help. Basically, if you've got an indicator for a platform, right, you only trade on one platform, don't you? So what you do is when you want to take a trade, you open these buttons and you go buy and sell. You can analyze on any platform you like. So you can use MT4 for all your analysis, your alerts, and for everything that you want to do, and then go and hit the buy and the sell button on TradingView. If your broker doesn't support MT4 or MT5. And a lot of people, you know, I've bought the market reversal indicator for MT5. My new broker uses MT4. Can I swap over? No, but why don't you just analyze on MT5 and then go and hit the buy and the sell button on MT4? Not the end of the world, is it? You don't have to trade on the platform you're looking at. Yeah, you can take trades on any platform you like, or just take them in the browser window on MT5. Euro odd. Approaching TP on the NASDAQ and the Dow. Oh, look at this. Look at it. It's just trying so hard to go long, but getting battered. It's what this fucking... It literally feels like a spluttering card, doesn't it, this thing at the minute? Not good fun. Bear with me one sec. Right. I'm just toying with the idea of closing one of these out just to bank a little bit more profit, because I've got $800 off from here. That's 1,600. Cancels that out, and then I can let that run. But I'm kind of giving it the benefit of the doubt while we're putting green candles in at the minute. We are struggling. Especially this Dow. I don't like the way the Dow is putting these upside wicks in. I've got 1 minute left. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Brian, I imagine Helpy FX is a cartoon character. Probably is. Euro odd. Sorry, I keep moving over to Euro odd and then not actually talking about it, don't I? Afisi. So Euro odd going absolutely nowhere at the moment. If you look at this on the hourly, It's literally not going anywhere. So we've been sideways on this for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 days today. I'd buy it down here at last week's low. Failing that, I'd buy it at the previous week's low, which is basically ADR today. So that whole area there, buy it. If it gets up to last week's high, sell it. The minute all this market is doing for the vast majority of Forex pairs is just range bound, moving up and down. So it's not going anywhere at the moment. It's just sideways. Long term, it's a long, but a very weak long. Not really anything to look at there. Afternoon, Astro. Yeah, I love doing the analysis on TradingView and trading on MT5. Why? A chart's a chart. This red candle on here is the same as the red candle on it on TradingView. Chart's a chart. But yeah, I mean, everybody likes their own platform, don't they? Right. Let's see whether we closed out on that. So we have put in a higher high, higher low, higher high. So we are still bullish. Although we are really, really struggling to get anywhere to the upside, but doing a bad job. So I'm going to leave it as it is for the minute. Just going to watch this candle though. If we get inside bars form, just the weight of this Dow seems to be holding back the rest of the indices at the minute. Okay, Dow's starting to look like it might try a little rally. DAX is also pushing as well. So there is a bit of bullishness coming in, but not enough. So slow. Any shorts on the US dollar Swiss? Yeah. So US dollar Swiss is ADR today. So we've got quite a few ADRs to look at. US dollar Swiss is the main one today. So we're up at ADR. 150 ADR. So that would be your initial short entry would have been in there, which is you would have had an M5 reversal alert today off of ADR. So that would have been a reversal alert in there. Short. Obviously, it didn't hold. So your ADR was there. Down candle was there. Then we made a higher high. So that would have been there. So that would have been your reversal alert on that candle there. That would have been your first short, which then put in an M pattern and then rejected. So, yeah, good looking short. Obviously, looking for a push back down again, looking for some weakness on this US dollar, although not finding a huge amount of it. Bear with me a sec. Don't like the look of this NASDAQ at all. Really struggling. So we've got green candles, yeah, and this is why it's important to look at the actual price action that you're seeing, yeah. So we've got a nice big bullish engulfing. We've got a nice big push up, but a very big wick on it, meaning there was a lot of selling pressure to get that movement. Then we got pushed back by the sellers, managed to put in a tiny move after a big strong push up, pushed back down again, yeah. Just about made a new high, yeah. We've just tried to get back above that high. We've double topped. Sellers fully in control of that at the minute. Not allowing the buyers any room for the movement to the upside. Dow not making any new highs. Only thing that's got any chance of moving at the moment is the S&P, which obviously does move the NASDAQ as well. So this is all looking very hard work to get anywhere. So got money locked in, $800 on that. S&P is rallying now, so TP on that is not far away, but that looks really hard work. So what I might do, I'm just going to lock that in with a little bit of profit in case this just collapses. What we'll find is we just get a big bang. Sorry, can't go any higher. Sellers will take control. What I don't want to do is, just lose all the profit on it. We are still making new highs, but very, very hard work, isn't it? We haven't broken the 5-minute opening range yet on the Dow. Although it's trying now, so that might be the move. Really, really struggling though. We are just hitting loads and loads of sell orders. Every time we try and get to that high, we're just hitting these sell orders. We need this just to pop. There we go. Looks like we got through. There we go. Done. Just going to close that out because it's pretty much TP anyway. So how long did that take? Okay, so pretty much TP, just shy of, but I'm taking it. On the NASDAQ, TP hit on the S&P, locked in second position. So that's $1,500. So 2-2 up on the day, $1,000 hedge locked in. The rest of it running. So see where we get to with the rest of that. We'll come back to that in a minute. Thanks for the follow, Fakulat. Hopefully I've said that right. Fakulat. Don't want to swear on stream, so I'm just saying somebody's name, just in case you're wondering what the hell I'm talking about. You've just come online. So yeah, looking at M5 for a reversal alert. It's quite a way away. So there's 150 ADR. So you've got a quarter of an ADR before you're going to get a reversal alert on that one. It looks good for a downside. That's nicely extended. There's not really any reason for this US dollar aggression. There's a little bit of a reason for the Swiss franc weakness, but if you look at the rest of the euro pairs today, they are all coming down off the back of what was said this morning, but it's not actually that dramatic. If you look at it on the 15-minute chart, we're looking at an hour or so of downward momentum in the New York session. So this has got every chance of reversing this today. So good looking opportunity for shorts. Just drop down, wait for a reversal alert. Because we might just carry on market structure. So just wait for a break in structure and we'll go short. New Zealand dollar Swiss, that is also extended on the hourly RSI as well. Not above the 25 level, which is where I like it. As you can see, that's the last entry that I had there. Short. But yeah, nicely extended. So if this continues to push up and we get up to 175 ADR today, I'll be getting short on that. New Zealand dollar Swiss extended to the upside. Already got one short on that at the moment. So it's too close to be taking a second. I'm going to need somewhere in the region of 30 odd pips. Might do. Too close. I won't get on that. But yeah, so if that continues to push and we get some kind of accumulation up there, I might get a second entry on that. But again, very nice extension. Swiss franc weakness. Pound Swiss extended. Again, Swiss franc weakness. So we got that extension. The reversal alert was already triggered this morning on this one. So that was your alert there. There's ADR. So we pushed up into ADR, immediately rejected it, broke back down again. Didn't move very far though. So haven't gone anywhere on it as yet. Euro New Zealand also big push down, 120. Well, just heading to 125 ADR now. It's just New Zealand dollar waking up again. Yeah, another big push on the Aussies and the New Zealands today. Real strength coming through in this Australian and New Zealand dollar at the moment. We had it on Friday as well. So New Zealand dollar, Euro New Zealand extended to the downside. Again, weakness in the euro. The monthly support area is there, which is 175 ADR. Very orderly on the way down this. Really nice market structure. Good lesson in market structure, that one. Really easy. High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. Really easy to read. But we will get to a point where we bounce back up the other way. So looking at this area down here and then following that, the previous monthlies. Dollar yen. If we look at that in 1 second. CAD Swiss, we've already looked at. Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar as well. So that's come down very hard. So this Aussie dollar a lot weaker than the New Zealand dollar. So this is all New Zealand dollar. Oh, look, there we go. Fakulat, you are a Helpy FX bot. Welcome aboard, Fakulat. Off you go. Just going to report you for being a paedophile. Report. I've given up reporting them as spam because they don't do anything about spam. So if you report them as child abuse, they might actually listen. Sorry, but fed up them. Aussie New Zealand, so that's nicely extended as well. Loads of RSIs to look at. I just wanted to look at this US dollar yen because we are now back up at 148. So we've pushed above that level. So everybody probably knows because I've been through it many times before in here, but intervention levels have been 145 and 150 in the past. So that was the first intervention. That was the second and third interventions. We got warning shots here, which they moved on. We got warning shots here, warning shots here. We are now above. So 150 is our next level. Tomorrow morning, I'm 99% sure I shall be coming on here and saying the Bank of Japan have said that the FX movement is undesirable and they are watching it very closely, meaning that they will be intervening shortly and driving this down 600 ADR. So shorts only US dollar yen or any yen pair. No reason to buy this. It's massively extended. The Japanese are fed up with it. I'm just seeing if I've got any yen exposure on. I haven't at the moment. Yes, I have. CAD yen. No, I haven't. That's resistance lines. So I haven't got any exposure on at the moment. There's nothing really getting extended enough either. But shorts only, I would. Otherwise, you're going to be in big trouble if that does... you start longing this thinking we've got a breakout and they intervene, you're going to be 600 ADR down, long way down. So we'll see where we go, but my chat's now frozen. 1 sec. Every time you report somebody in the chat as well, for some reason it freezes your chat. It's very, very annoying. Tom, getting smoked on Aussie New Zealand. So this is what I was looking at actually earlier when I was looking at this, thinking, when is this market going to move? That was the last month's range in July going into August. August just contracted, and September. So we've actually started to make a move. So you're watching these lows basically, which is 200 ADR for a bounce. Should get a bounce off of 200 ADR. Downside. Bear with 1 sec. Yeah. So if you're long on this, you probably got long, I would imagine, from a couple of days ago when we got that extension. So you shouldn't be in too much trouble. You're only kind of 125 ADR away, so you should only be in 1 or 2 positions on it, really. Normal. Afternoon, Evans. which broker am I with? Robo Forex. There's if you want to, there's a link on the website. If you go to the My Recommendations page, there's a link to all the links for stuff, basically. Okay, out of the S&P, trailing stop got me out just over 1R on the second half of that. So what's that? Whatever it is. 700, 880, and 1200. So profit banked on the breaks today, 2835, and I've got 1,000 running in a hedge, so 1,800 guaranteed. I'm going to let this run. So with the Dow, basically, what I'm looking for now is a big, strong move on the Dow up into finish these propulsion gaps, come up into here somewhere, and then see if we get a pullback from that level to the downside. I have to scroll out. That's ADR there, which is about 3R. So going to need to push all the way down towards that previous monthly low, which is the low from 2 months ago. We looked at that on the here. So we're going to need to push down into that low, basically, which is kind of 125, 150 ADR today. So that's basically what I'm looking for to get out of it. But I'll happily stay in that hedge and just close that out as a loss. Up on the day. We'll see. It seems the market wants to rally long, so we might get a push up into this area, which would be good. So just that accumulation. Propulsion gap fill. So that propulsion gap. If you look at that on the hourly, that Dow Jones move, which we are here, you'll see that propulsion gap. Yeah. So it's that one there. What I'm looking for is a push up to fill that gap and then some kind of rejection from it, which is multiple moves down. So that big gap there. Right, RSIs. So we covered all the ADRs. We need them to puke. They have puked. Just took a short on CJ. Yeah, CAD yen or Swiss yen? CAD yen, probably. CAD yen, probably. Yeah. I kind of want to take one just to get into something yen based, really. So we've got beautiful resistance we're at here. Look, so these two lines I've got drawn on the chart. Euro US dollars just hit ADR. So that high there and that high there are basically that resistance zone, if you like. So we pushed into it, tapped out of it, retested it, couldn't get through, broke to the downside. So that is basically the same intervention level on the US dollar yen as last time. So if you look at the US dollar yen, yeah, it's basically when the intervention happened at 150. Yeah. So it's actually there, I think, isn't it? So yeah, really good level resistance wise. It's still pushing up at the moment though. So if it does break that level, it will only break that level because the US dollar yen is rallying through it. So when the US dollar yen gets up to 150, it's going to struggle. You know, this is what I'm expecting to happen. Obviously, no idea, but all we've ever got to go on is the past. And we know that every time in the past when they've come out and said there's undesirable FX moves, we don't like it, we're going to do something about it, they have. That's the level they did it at last time. So that's what I'm watching. Whether it holds or not, we will find out. See, but yeah, so pushing very nicely. So CAD yen, pretty good short. Oh, Dan, you just said euro yen. Euro yen, yeah, euro yen is just as good as anything. In fact, euro yen's, as you can see, just a sideways mess. Yeah. So the euro is as weak as the yen, which is why you're seeing it move sideways. If you've got something that's weak and trading against something that's weak, neither of them can push in either direction. So you just get something that moves sideways. But one of them is going to take control, more likely the yen than the euro in the coming weeks. So we'll see. Afternoon, Luke. I'm stuck on US dollar Swiss and CAD Swiss. Yeah, US dollar Swiss and CAD Swiss. Yeah, well, CAD Swiss, US dollar Swiss, you shouldn't really be in. If you are in it, probably from there, I guess. I'm not in US dollar Swiss. I haven't been in US dollar Swiss. US dollar Swiss for a long time. It hasn't moved enough. I mean, you can see the just about got extended there. So if you are in it, I would imagine that's entry one, isn't it? So you're looking at 180 pips, or so about 3 ADR against you, but you've sat sideways for 2 weeks, news and grinding now. So it's nothing you can do about it. You know, when you know, this is what I'm saying. And I was talking about this morning, there is nothing you can do about these market conditions at the moment. Everybody is in the same boat. Everybody is struggling to make money. If you are any kind of breakout or trend trader or mean reversion trader that requires an extension to enter your positions, you're not getting anything. Breakout traders are just getting slaughtered. Trend traders are not getting any entries. Mean reversion traders are just getting into trades and not getting out of them. Just nothing you can do. It's totally sideways. So we've got that movement now just starting to kick in, but very, very slow. So, but CAD Swiss, yeah, I mean, that's parabolic. That's basically oil. Which again, today, no movement. This is day 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Going anywhere. Again. Look. Full stop. Right. So ADR, sorry, RSIs, there's lots of them to look at. We had none this morning. So this morning, everything you can see here on the left-hand side on the 4-hour RSI 3070 levels was all extended. We were not extended onto the 2575. So we've had extra pushes today, which has got these lit up. Hourlies, we've got some extensions now as well. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, you can see there, I'm going to be getting into that one today. Anything that gets into the 75.25, I'm in on an H1M5 mean reversion. So New Zealand dollar Swiss, Euro New Zealand 125 ADR. New Zealand dollar Swiss, I'm already in it. So I'll be taking second entry on that today. So we'll have a quick whiz through all of these, but they're pretty much what we've been looking at for the last couple of days because they've been the ones that have been extended. So Aussie New Zealand extended to the downside, 4-hour below the 30. 4-hour below the 25, hourly now below the 30 level. So big, strong push down Aussie New Zealand. There's no real reason for the Aussie to be particularly weak against New Zealand dollar. From a fundamental perspective, they tend to move together most of the time. So if you look at Aussie New Zealand, it is a sell at the moment, but only because we have retail all pressing the long button at the moment. So we need to be shorting. So as long as the retail crowd are going one direction, you tend to find it's the opposite that the market is going because they get it wrong all the time. So that's only really a -4, which is the very weakest possible sell because of retail. So if retail starts to get run over and decide, actually, no, we're not going to do that anymore, it's neutral. So it is basically range bound. There's no cop bias whatsoever on Aussie New Zealand. No reason to long it, no reason to short it. Euro CAD has just hit ADR as well. Euro looks like it's falling out of bed. Even weaker than the Swiss franc. So big moves. Whoops, big moves starting on the euros. Downside. So Aussie New Zealand, yeah, good looking opportunity on the Aussie New Zealand. for a long, nicely extended. If it pushes down a little bit more, I'll be getting into that one long today. 4 hour, very nice extension. No profit take move whatsoever since we've got from there all the way down to here. So a pullback on that leg is what I'll be looking for. That propulsion gap would be 50% retracement, which would be good. We've got very weak support. So this is your main support area. The monthly levels at 200 ADR. Unlikely we'll get there today, but if it does continue to just kind of muck about and get down to there this week, perfect. So nice looking support coming up. Pound New Zealand, ADR. Big strong. This New Zealand dollar's on a mission. Yeah, big strong moves on the New Zealand. New Zealand dollar Swiss, 125 ADR. Look at that thing go. Swiss franc's really weak as well today, so big move on that one. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand, nicely extended. CAD Swiss, 125 ADR, still pushing. Swiss franc, falling out of bed still. Euro US. Yeah, this is US dollar strength as well. New Zealand dollar yen, 125 ADR. That's right, 100 ADR. That's out the highs as well. So really strong move, New Zealand dollar. So yeah, Aussie New Zealand, good opportunity for longs to get into. So drop down M5, M15, wait for those reversal alerts to kick in. You will have possibly had one. Get one there. You can get one there. You haven't had one yet. So that'll be the first reversal alert today, Aussie New Zealand. CAD Swiss, we know about, obviously. That's 4 hour RSI, extended and embedded, has been now since week before last. So kind of last Wednesday evening, Thursday. We got extended on the 4 hour. This thing's not looked back since. So we were on a big rally waiting for a pullback, and this thing's just gone parabolic. Strong news from oil driving the Canadian dollar higher. Very weak euro off the back of the interest rate increase dropped, which brought the Swiss franc down with it. So perfect storm basically there. Wait a sec. So yeah, we know about this one, waiting for a big pullback. So go back in time and look for similar sorts of moves. We looked at this morning in relation to the 24 moving average. If you go back and look at the past and use the 24 daily moving average as a good gauge for extension and like elastic band theory, the further away you get from this 24 moving average, the bigger the move has been against you. So if you measure these distances, so from there back up to there was 230. We had a big push down there, about 2,000, so 200 pips. That big move there, 2.4, big one there, 1,700, big one there, 1,500, another big one there, 1,800. Where we are now, 1,700. Yeah, so you're at the limit usually where you would expect a profit take move or a pullback to begin. Yeah, after these big drops, you get the big pullbacks. Big drop, big pullback. Big drop, big pullback. Big drop, big pullback. Big push, big pullback. Just waiting. We need these buyers to run out of guys that are willing to sell to them, and that will all just come down like a house of cards. Anywhere in there, you're going to find resistance somewhere. That's an old monthly high, but that week basically was the week it completely collapsed for the entire month. So you can see That's the monthly high, this purple line and this purple line. All it did was literally 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks, all the way down to there, and then sat around week 4. So that's the entire range, which is where we're basically approaching now. And we're doing basically the opposite to that. So we'll be looking for some kind of move back out of there. So 1 sec. So yeah, that's CAD Swiss, which we know about as massively extended. Euro Swiss is also extended on the 4 hour. Big move up on the Euro Swiss. We've just taken out that weekly high from last week. And really nice rejection wicks, look, to the upside there. So good looking short opportunity there. You've had your reverse alert today already on that one. Not an ADR, but you've had the reversal alert on it. So good looking potential drop. Hourly is just about to kick in with a reversal alert as well. We're looking for a return to origin move on that one. But it's going to need the Swiss franc to power up, which is going to be tricky. So we'll see. But that's only just extended. Same as the euro pound, only just extended, although that is coming down very nicely now. But that's just got extended on the 4 hour. That's going to be out of extension. You've missed it. The 5-minute reversal alert was this morning. There's your M pattern there. And there's the retest. It's already gone. Hourlies, you got Euro New Zealand as well, extended on the hourly, as we know. So that's an ADR hit and an hourly. So just about to get into that one, potentially long. Oh, no, I'm already in it. Sorry. No, I won't be getting into that because I'm already in. 88 pips. It's a little bit too close for me to get into a second on that one. Yeah, it's too close. So I won't be taking a second on it. But we're nicely extended. Nice rejection showing at the moment. So wait for the 5-minute reversal alert beyond ADR. And get in on that one. Pound CAD. Extended to the downside. Big extension. Got one. Got a few longs on this one at the moment. As you can see, got 3 on this. Waiting for this to start to unravel. We are extended again on the hourly. Again, this one embedded below the 50 level. Yeah. Can't get out of that 50 level at all. Totally stuck. So we'll see where we go on that one. But that's nicely extended. 4 hour RSI extension embedded has been for the last week. But we know the pound is dropping. The Canadian dollar's rallying like crazy. So pound US, pound CAD, both the same thing. Going mental. So just make sure you're scaling in if you're in it. Nice and evenly apart. All we're looking for is basically a 200 ADR move to the upside and we're off. Waiting for this US dollar to weaken or the oil price to drop or Bailey to come out and say, you know what, we're going to increase the interest rates on the pound. Some catalyst, basically. We haven't got it. Pound New Zealand, same thing. Big, strong drop. First entry on that one, waiting for a push back up. 4 hour RSI extension, hourly RSI extension. Good confluence. Just waiting. Got into that one. I think it was on Friday. I think I got into that on Friday. Yeah. So I got into that on Friday on the ADR move. So that was your first H1 RSI extension on Friday. There. So got into the first entry there. We haven't gone anywhere yet and it's still pushing back down again. So good extension on that one. Pound New Zealand. Pound US dollar, as we know, massively extended. The 4 hour on this really extended. Still pushing down. I'm out of all the aggressive positions on it. I've taken a loss on higher up positions as well. Just getting flat on it, basically. Not working. 2 months been in it now. Longest squeeze I've been in and the most painful squeeze as well because we had a period of basically 5 weeks roughly after the initial entry where we just sat sideways for the entire month of August into September. And as soon as September kicked off, all the news went totally the wrong way. Yeah, and that's where we are now. So I'm not taking any more aggressive drawdown control positions. I've lost 7% on aggressive drawdown control to on this pair. I've taken losses on it, as you can see, all the way along. So it's about a 10% loss, which is about my limit. Not interested in any more on it. So I'm not taking any more aggressive drawdown control positions on this one. I'm literally, the average is 125, 150 ADR. All I'm asking for is one update. At some point in the future, just give us an update and I'll be out. That's all I need. Yeah, one of those. One candle above ADR and I'm out. So I'm not getting aggressive on it. I'm not trying to make money on it. I just want flat. Very, very rare it happens, but nothing you can do about this one. It's just the perfect storm of hideousness. But obviously is extended on the 4 hour still, but you know, we've been extended on the 4 hour many times over the last 8 weeks. Still being extended. New Zealand dollar Swiss, big strong push to the upside on that one. Pretty much the same as the Aussie Swiss, the CAD Swiss, everything else Swiss. The Swiss decided in their wisdom to actually not increase their interest rates without telling anybody. Bad mistake. So the market is not happy with the Swiss franc. Sorry, that's the Swiss franc rate there on the hourly. So that was the Swiss franc deciding actually, nah, we won't bother putting our interest rates up. We're doing all right. Thanks very much. We'd factored in a bigger move than that. Bye-bye Swiss franc. So we'll see when that starts to recover. It's going to need some euro strength to help it along the way, I think. So good looking short opportunity though is very, very nicely extended on the hourly. 4 hourly, we are nicely extended. You've got divergence there as well. So good looking opportunity for a short. We've got plenty of resistance where we are at the moment. We've got other levels as well you can look at for support resistance as well. So I don't see a problem shorting this. The Swiss franc is one of those currencies that doesn't stay weak for long. It's one of the safe haven currencies. So when something else goes wrong somewhere else, the Swiss franc will power up and that will just come down very, very quickly. This is also the New Zealand dollar we're talking about. There's no reason to be bullish on the New Zealand dollar at the moment at all. They are well behind the curve, New Zealand. Their inflation figure is at 6%. Their interest rates are at 5.5. They're going to struggle to put that up anymore. And that is going to tick back up again, always does. Unemployment is rising. They cannot put that up anymore. There's no reason to be bullish on it. So don't see a problem shorting the Swissy. Shorting New Zealand against the Swissy. US dollar Swiss as well. So again, this US dollar has got a mind of its own at the moment. Huge extension above the 80 level now on this one. And as if by magic, we hit 175 ADR while we're looking at it. There we go. 175 ADR. Yeah, so well beyond its average daily range. Coming on for 200% of ADR. Resistance-wise on this, absolute chop fest in there, where we are now. So we got this high. Other than that, pick a level. It's an absolute mess. So could go up to there, could pick that level there, could stop there. Yeah, it's just endless support and resistance areas in there that you could pick for this thing to turn. So it will turn at some point when it gets exhausted. But again, Swiss franc really not done itself any favors with its interest rates. So we're going to have to wait for some movement, ideally off of this euro. So that is your most recent high of any kind of support resistance basis. Aussie New Zealand 125. It's all starting to kick off now. This is good. So we're getting some movement back. Finally, it looks like at the moment. Remember I said this, well, if you weren't here this morning, you won't remember, but I said this morning, this is the last week of the quarter and last week of the month. So when you're looking at these moving averages on the chart here, this is the 24 and the 72. That is the quarterly and the monthly moving averages. So this is what the banks and institutions use as reporting periods. So what you tend to find is at the end of the quarter, you get a flurry of orders in to try and get prices to specific levels to hit specific shareholder targets. You get a big flurry. They hit those targets and then they can go whatever. And it just tends to pull back, which is why we get a big push and a midweek reversal quite often the last week of the month. So these ADRs are contracted as well because we're coming out of August summer trading, which has actually gone through the entire month of September as well. But these are all contracted ADR levels as well. So you're going to find big hits on these because they're just returning back to normal market movement levels, which takes around about 10 days to feed in, 2 weeks, because obviously we're using ADR 10, which is 2 trading weeks behind. All indicators lag, obviously. So yeah, still looks good for shorts. We need some negative news from the US dollar. All we got last week and all we had the week before was bullishness off of every US dollar news event. It was just bullish, bullish, bullish. Same with the Canadians, bullish, bullish, bullish everywhere. So all we've had is CAD and US dollar movement to the upside. So good looking mean reversion opportunity on that one specifically. There's an awful long way to go, and we've got a good resistance coming up as well. So nice extension there, 175 ADR. And obviously on ADR, on RSI, we're over the 75 level. We will probably get extended on the hourly as well today. We already are. So extended on the hourly as well. So same as that entry there, short. You can take a quick trade back down into that level, or you can hold it for the bigger profit take if it happens. But obviously you don't know whether it's going to happen. So that's those. Dow's gone nowhere, look, at the moment. So we broke up, straight back down, not going anywhere. So downside, not going to be an easy one to get out of today. There's no movement to the downside you can really target on the Dow. Until we get to 150 ADR, which is all the way down there. So that's basically target 150 ADR, which is somewhere in the region of 33.66. So my target is before 150 ADR anyway. So what I'm after. Right, there we go. Let me just catch up on the chat. Need to code the charts to look like Double Dragon or Mortal Kombat. That might be a bit gimmicky. Mortal Kombat, I much prefer Mortal Kombat. Just realised I'm 14 minutes behind, so the last message won't make sense, whipping post. I can't see a message from you. I suspect if you're typing and you're 14 minutes behind, YouTube doesn't actually show me it because you're in the past. It's like time travel. You're probably, I don't even know why I'm talking to you. You're not going to see this for 15 minutes. And by the time you see this, I'll have gone. Weird. Fries your noodle, doesn't it? Right. So, yes, CAD Swiss, US dollar Swiss, big mean reversion opportunities on these, but we've said this many times before. We're still waiting. So we'll see what happens. Peter, I know the point of doing aggressive drawdown, but for example, of GU, if you haven't done any, you would be in drawdown, not 7% loss. Yeah, that's right. I would be in drawdown. Yeah. The idea of aggressive drawdown control is to get you out of the position. So it's just a normal trade. You don't have to do aggressive drawdown ever. Yeah. Just stay in it. But what you will do is you'll just hemorrhage more and more and more drawdown and more loss. So the idea is to try and get you out at a level that looks good. So all the aggressive drawdown control positions that I've been taking have been where I'm expecting a bounce. Yeah. Didn't work. Had some aggressive drawdown control done in there as well. Bounced. Double bottom. Didn't work. Yeah. So just get it wrong. It's wrong. It's the wrong decision. You shouldn't have done it. But if this is trading, Peter, isn't it? If you knew what to do, you wouldn't be here and you'd be a multimillionaire. I would also be a multimillionaire. Yeah, if we knew what to do, we would just do it. You get dealt what you get dealt. So I'm up like 100+% on the year. 15% loss in a month is just a kick in the teeth, and I'll be back next month to make the money back as normal. When the market wakes up, though, there's no point in trying to push a bad position. At some point, I did it on Aussie New Zealand. Yeah. When we had the big drop on the Aussie New Zealand, you have to take it off and go, screw you, I'm out. And I was. You'd take a loss. US dollar Swiss has done it to me as well. Oil got this drop March. You probably have to go back and watch these streams, but I think it was that drop in March, that level there. I said, no, I'm out. This was a new instrument to me at the time, and I've been absolutely killing it. So all the way, basically, we've been killing it. And literally, we took that, 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 and then that happened. I had to get out because I was in too high and too hot, too fast. I had to take a loss on it. The only reason I really got out on this because it's a new instrument, and I thought if that breaks down below that level, I don't know where we're going. If I'd have only known we were going to go into a range waiting to push up to $95 by the end of the year, I would have stayed in it. That's hindsight. If we had hindsight, we would never be wrong. There is no system or strategy that's ever going to work all the time. It's going to go wrong at points. But you don't have to do drawdown control along the way. You don't have to do aggressive drawdown control positions. But you will find if you go into the backtester and use the market reversal alert CA and run it on a pair for a very long period of time, you will find eventually it will blow the account. Yeah, because you will get to a point where, depending if you're using lot size multiplication, it will do this. If you don't use lot size multiplication, it won't. But there is a point you get to where something has just fundamentally shifted and there's no way it's coming back. So, for example, Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. That one I just showed you, that drop. Yeah. At that point there, if you go and look at the COT report, that point there, we shifted long on the COT report. I didn't see it. And when you start going down here and you're thinking, hang on a minute, the Aussie is really, really bullish. New Zealand's really, really bearish. Why is that? Or well, it's the other way around. Aussie's really bearish. New Zealand's really bullish. You look at it, the futures market had totally flipped its position the other way. Yeah. You need to identify this stuff and look at it and go, right, okay, the Aussies have been saying that they are not going to increase their interest rates. The New Zealanders have been saying we need to increase interest rates, but we're forecasting a lower inflation than Australia. Yeah. You'd be thinking, need to get out of it right now. At the moment on the pound US dollar, the reason I've stayed in it, there's absolutely no reason why this pound should be weaker than the US dollar. The US dollar is at terminal rate. Its inflation figure is going up. Yeah. It wasn't at the time when I got into it, but it is. The pound, we were forecast to go up to 6%. Now they're calling 5.25 terminal rate. When I got into it, we were having another 75% increase, 0.75% increase. Now we're not, but this is 2 months later. Now I'm making a decision based on the facts I've got here. I do not want to be in this anymore because the pound has just massively devalued because Bailey's decided we're at terminal rate, even though we're forecasting inflation to go up, which means that that isn't high enough. But I can't argue with Bailey. I can't argue with the Fed. I can't argue with Lagarde. I have to do what the fundamentals tell me. Fundamentals right now are telling me to get out of pound US dollar. But I have to say, and we'll look at this next week, but every time I take a loss, literally within a fortnight, the entire thing's played out. And if I hadn't have taken out my position off, I'd have just been out. Always happens. This is why they call it a squeeze. You get to a point where you're so uncomfortable, you think, screw this, I just can't do it anymore. At that point, that's when the banks go, no one else is interested, let's just move it up. And that's what happens. And it's always you get out at the end of the squeeze. But for me, it's always after, if I've got to a level where I've got aggressive drawdown control failing regularly, I know I'm really, really wrong on something just because I've been through it before. Like I said, this is probably the third one in 4 or 5 years. Rare. But this market is rare. Well, it's not rare. We've never had it. This is totally unprecedented, the market we're in at the moment. If you look at the... what was it I was looking at earlier? Look at this Euro CAD for the entire month of August and September. Yeah, so this is September. So forget this news event, right? This is 2 months. Yeah. Go back and look on your charts and try and find a period of 2 months where nothing moved. It's just such a rare thing. And go back and look on your charts in summer trading and find a period where you've had a squeeze that goes like that. Squeezes are like that, and they have a parabolic move back up. Squeezes that grind are so rare, but when they happen, they're the kind of Achilles heels of the strategy, basically. So you have to take them on the chin. Pain in the backside. And I understand for people that have started position trading in August, they'll be like, oh, this is crap. You've just started at the very, very worst month. But this is why people system hop, isn't it? Yeah. If you see someone like me or anybody trading a strategy and killing it, and then the month you do it, it all goes wrong, you go, oh, and you system hop onto something else. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. You just joined at the wrong time. Wait another month and you'll be like, oh my God, that's brilliant. What can you do? You can only deal with what you see in front of you. Jacob, can you please tell me, when you scale out from positions, what is going too far against you? Are you still able to make a profit? That varies, Jacob. So when you scale out of a position, what you get out with is what you get out with. I don't concern myself with what loss I've taken along the way. I concern myself with getting out and making sure that the P&L is as profitable as it can be. So I don't look at an instrument and go, what's the one that's rallying? CAD Swiss. So I'm not going to look at CAD Swiss, yeah, and go, right, this owes me $130 there, and it owes me that position there, $130 there. So I'm not looking at this going, right, I need this to come down so that it's a minimum of $260 in profit. What I'm looking at is, where's this going next? Where do I think this is going to go? Yeah, at the moment, I'm looking at this, how stretched it is. I'm sticking a Fibonacci on there and I'm going, crikey, when this does come down, it's got to go a minimum of 38 to 50% retracement. Even if it's just going to be a shallow pullback, it's going there. Doesn't concern me what has happened before. If I've lost and done 1 drawdown control, 2 drawdown controls, or 10 drawdown controls, that's happened. Nothing I can do about it. It's in the bank, isn't it? It's in my P&L. It's all accounted for. What I'm interested in is, where's this going? That's what I'm looking at. Yeah, so it's going somewhere down here. That's where my TP is. Why? Because I think it's going to do a 38 to 50% retracement before it bounces. If it bounces, it may not bounce. It may do an A-shaped recovery and come all the way down. Could put in a lower high and put in a market structure short. I have no idea what's going to happen in the future. And I don't care about what's happened in the past, really. What I'm looking at is where we're going next. Looking at propulsion gaps, looking at support and resistance areas, watching this double top high here where we pulled into and bounced from, which is a 50% retracement on that move. That's why I'm targeting that. How much profit is it from my average, which is there, down to there? No idea. That's what I'm after. Whether that makes me a plus or a minus on the overall position, I don't really care about. Yeah. What you'll find is, if you go with the opinion of this owes me $260, my TP is there, but it's only $195. I'm going to move my TP down to there so I at least make $360 on it. What will happen is it will do that. And if you thought it was going to bounce out of there, that's where you should have taken it off. where you think it's going, not where you need it to go or want it to go. Watch what happens, basically. So you can't really take that into account. You need to look at your portfolio as a whole. Yeah, your job is to try and bank a small amount of money every day or an amount of money every week so that you build up a pot, basically. And then if you continuously just bank small amounts of money all the time, it just looks after itself. In that small amount of money you've banked will be drawdown control. So if you bank 0.75% or 0.5% in a day, you might have closed out 3 nice profitable positions and done a little bit of drawdown control automatically on the CAD Swiss twice over the last 2 weeks. But it's all in that P&L. It's all accounted for. It's in the past. Nothing you can do about it. If it's a positive or negative day, week, or month, it's been a positive day, week, or month. Done. Move on. What's happening now? What's the fundamentals saying now? What news have we got coming up now? If that news kicks in, what are we looking for? 200 ADR move to the downside? Where's that going to go? Forget that. It's happened. Past. Pound US dollar. Just closed out a load of loss on it. What am I doing now? I'm long on the pound US dollar still. Why? Because I'm still long on the pound US dollar. How much have I lost? Don't know. It's happened. I do know. I've lost 4%. Well, today. I've lost nearly 15% this month. But it doesn't matter. It's done. It's all in my P&L, which over the year is still massively positive. So just try not to focus on micro. Look at what you're in and where you're going. That's what we're looking at. We're looking at this, looking at and saying, right, and I've gone through it today, haven't I, already? Look what happens after we do this. We do that. Look what happens after we do this. We do that. Look what happens after we do this. We do that. Look what happens after we do this. We do that. It's happening. It's going to happen. I can guarantee 100% it's going to happen. I don't know when, but it will. So you've just got to hold on and go, where is it going to? Worst case scenario, a 23 retracement gets you out of break even. Normal scenario, a 38 gets you out with a nice profit. Average scenario, 50% pullback gets you out with a really decent profit. Yeah, break even, nice profit, decent profit. If you've got balls of steel, go for the home run. Assume that market structure is going to continue short, high, low, higher, lower high, double bottom, lower high, lower low. Yeah. What's that going to be? 10, 15% profit? Can you hold it? Probably not. I couldn't hold that. But it doesn't matter what's happened before. It's in your P&L. It's locked in. Peter, yeah, easy for you to say. I started with real money 1.5 ago. Yeah. So got in board at the crappiest time. It is. It's just a bad run. It's just multiple squeezes. So happens. We always get squeezed. That's why there's so much content on the website about it. You need to understand, and I've never hidden anything about it yet. This is a massive part of it. These 3 videos appear at the top. There's 4 videos in total covering the subject. Yeah, you're not going to get in. It's not a magic bullet. There is no holy grail. You're going to get in. You're going to get hurt. It's going to hurt at points. You're going to get into squeezes. You're going to be in drawdown. You're going to do aggressive drawdown control. It's going to fail. It's just part of the process. But it doesn't last long. Just seems like it. This CAD Swiss, it seems like it's never going to move. But you wait until that yen intervention comes and you watch what happens to the CAD Swiss. Yen intervention will kick everything into touch, especially anything related to the US dollar. Yeah, that might be the catalyst we need. We just need something. That's the trouble. Like I say, we're in a position at the minute where we're not in normal times. This stuff we've got here, it's not normal. Yeah, having inflation at 6.7% and interest rates at 5 to 6% is totally abnormal. We've been used to, for years, having negative interest rates and 0 interest rates and 0.1 interest rates. We're sitting at 5.5s. The market's sitting there going like that, like a dog, going, when are you going to stop? When are you going to stop? And they're going, maybe now, maybe not. Maybe now. Not here's a bone. No, here's a bone. No. Been doing that for months. Can't do anything about it. Part of the game. It's trading. But you know, if you look at anybody in any strategy now, you'll be finding the same thing. Yeah. Whether you're using your stop loss, you're not using a stop loss, whether you're hedging, you're not using a hedging, whatever you're doing, you're being killed at the minute. Yeah. There's a couple of trends going on. Everything else is just an utter mess. Not even a range. You know, even the ranges are messy. Yeah. The ranges are not normal ranges. Got like weak as hell market structure as well. It's just not, you know, it's just not conducive for making decent trading decisions. But hedging is going well for this month. Yeah. What you mean the new this strategy? Yes and no. Again, it's hit and miss. It's the same as any stop loss based strategy. I'm just not using a stop loss, but the hedge is in effect a stop loss. I've locked in a guaranteed loss here. I have an opportunity to get out of it off the hedge, but yeah. But this last week, no, Paolo, absolutely shocking. Given back probably more than 3/4 of the profit in the last week, because you can't make money when the market's doing what it's doing, can you? If you're going to do that, yeah, when you open, just not conducive to trading. News. It's very much the same as what I said this morning. It's worth watching this morning's live room if you weren't here this morning. Oh, just didn't want to switch that over to hourly. But it's been one of those periods where we're literally, if you look at an hourly chart on anything, I mean, anything really, what you're getting is long periods of doing absolutely nothing. A news event. Long periods of doing nothing. A news event. And the news events are news event, not a news event. They're undoing all the news events as well. So there's just nothing happening. It looks like the market's moving, but it's not actually going anywhere very fast at all. Yeah. If you go back, we should be looking at the hourly really, so rather than the 4 hourly, but because we're talking about August and September. Look at September. Yeah. So we started September here. 1, 2, 3, 4. I mean, look at the range here. No one on the planet that makes money in that range. No one makes money in that range. You can't. There is no movement. Yeah. Your job is to make money out of market movement. What can't you do if the market doesn't move? Make money. Everybody's getting killed. Yeah. News event. Not sure about that news event. News event. Not sure about that news event. Yeah. That is the only time you can make money on a news event. So what you've got to do, what you've had to do in September is predict that and predict that. If you weren't short there and there in September, you didn't make money on the euro US dollar. Can't predict that either, because that movement down there, what is that? That's the euro increasing their interest rates, making it bigger, making themselves more attractive to the market. Yeah, it collapsed. What it's designed to do is increase interest in purchasing the euro. It tanked it. Yeah. Doing the opposite to what we would normally expect. It's just where the market is at the minute. It will shake it though. We need some big days. So hopefully this week, as I say, with being the last week, we'll get some big ADR moves, which we're seeing starting to come in. We saw them on Friday. We saw them on Thursday last week. We've had some decent moves coming in. So hopefully this is the market kind of resetting itself back to normal ranges and we'll get some movement. But fundamentals aren't helping. Does the ORB EA do well on news days? I don't know. So you tell me. Yeah. Think about the question you've asked, Paolo. Does the ORB EA do well on news days? Are you long or short on the news, and which way did the news go? Yeah. So let's say, I don't know, just looking at, let's have a look. Were you short on the ORB that day? If you were, yes. Were you long on that day? No, then it didn't. It's the same as anything, isn't it? if you're on the right side of the news when the news moves, you make money. If you're not, you don't. The OLB EA takes momentum breaks at the open. If you're not out of that trade when the news hits, you either get stopped out or you get milked. You actually cane it, don't you? Yeah. I've just done some analysis on the DAX this morning. Yeah, so look at this. That's the ORB. Yeah, so that's the pre-market 15. There's your 5-minute break. Yeah. Was that or was that not news? Don't know. Doesn't matter, does it? The fact is it moved down like 7 ADR or 7R down into ADR and then pulled back. So if you were running that day, yes, you made a lot of money. That day, look at that. Beautiful. Break to the upside. 5R, 6R, straight up at the open. This is what we're used to. This is 2020. Yeah, this is not what we're getting at the moment. We're not getting this type of movement coming through at the moment. That day, look at that. This is me testing different ranges, so ignore the results because this is not. This would not have been a trade. This is too tight. I'm just running some analysis to see how far we move off of these moves, and some of these are 15, 20R. That's 15R. Very nice. But you get whipsawed. That's the trouble. Just trying to find a news day. You can see the news days. Actually, this is the DAX, so you probably can't because the news days usually happen in the afternoon. So you'd be looking in this area here. That's where you'd see the news. There you go. So that's news event, I would imagine. So 4:30 is the open, which is here. Market move there. So what we were waiting for there was probably a 3 p.m. news event. If you were short on it from the morning, yeah, it's all luck. You don't know which way the news is going to go, do you? How long does a typical squeeze last? No answer to that. As long as a squeeze lasts is baggy. A squeeze lasts until you get out. So typically a squeeze is sort of like 3-6 weeks, maybe. Typical one. This obviously anything that's at the moment is squeezing is atypical. Look at CAD Swiss though. If you look at it, how long it's actually been doing the move. You started here on the 4th of September. This is only a 4-week move. This is a squeeze, but it's not a bad squeeze like the pound US. That's a bad squeeze. That's over 2 months. Yeah, we started squeezing on the 19th of July. We haven't stopped. Euro US dollar 125 ADR. Still pushing down. But, you know, even in a squeeze like this, I mean, this isn't a squeeze at all, but even in a move like this, yeah, as long as there's market structure and as long as there's market pullbacks, you get out. Yeah. There's always exits. It's just when they go too far. Afternoon, Gordy. How are we doing? Right, I'll leave it there. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7:50, same time as usual. So one sec. Yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow morning, 7:50, 2:20 tomorrow afternoon. There's no news tomorrow to speak of. We have got consumer confidence at 3 o'clock, which is a very, very hit and miss type news event. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. I don't think the market's going to hang around for it. We've got no news during the European session at all. And then we kick off on Aussie news for the CPI on Wednesday. That's the first proper news event we've got. So obviously these movements that we're seeing kicking off today, hopefully at the start of that move for a midweek reversal, which is quite often what we get end of the month. So this could well be the very last point of these moves, and then we'll start to get these retracements coming in. So any extensions you get this week, like we've had on the RSIs and the ADRs, quite possibly good opportunities for mean reversions this week. But we'll see. All right, so I'll be back tomorrow morning. If you need anything, I'll be in Telegram. Other than that, I'm just going to monitor the Dow, which I'm still in, which is moving very nicely now, actually, to the downside. So we're on our way approaching ADR. I'm not going to get out at ADR. I'll be looking for an exit a bit further down than that. I'll watch what price action does when we get down to this sort of level, down to 4R. So somewhere around 33,730-ish. So I'll be watching that level and see if we get any sort of price action. But this is the nearest support. Dow. US dollar Swiss is an H1 RSI now. That's extended as well. So I'll be taking a short on the US dollar Swiss. Next reversal alert. So I'll be getting in there on the US dollar Swiss off of 175 ADR. So yeah, Dow. It was that monthly low there, which is 125 ADR. So it's that level. That's what I'm watching for a bounce today, if we can get down there. But that's all. Then I'll get back in the other way. All right, have a good one. I'll be back tomorrow morning, same time at 7:50 for the Frankfurt session and 2:20 tomorrow afternoon for New York. If, hopefully it all goes well this afternoon. If not, I have to wait till tomorrow. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.